Hey everyone, this is Michael with the general reading for Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the month of February 2020. Hello and welcome, whether you're watching this video for yourself or cross-watching for another individual with Aquarius placements. Now, before we actually dive into the reading here, I do have a couple of quick announcements to make. I will make them as fast as possible, but I just wanted to let everyone know I am taking down my readings and Reiki sessions for the time being. I'm going to be bringing them back up around the middle of the month for those of you who are interested in one of my services. I have honestly just fallen a little bit behind. I had a couple of health issues arise last month, as well as suddenly needing to get my phone, a new phone. So some setbacks there, and honestly, I was just on my ass. I was exhausted, and I think that had a lot to do with the eclipse and the conjunction that we had in the middle of last month. And I've really just been trying to recover and stay afloat, stay on my 2 feet since then, and it's just really obvious that I need to take care of myself, especially when you're doing this really sensitive energy work. It does matter, how you go into this. I've noticed a lot of the readers on YouTube, it seems like, are really sort of struggling with this intense wave right now because we're tuning into a very large collective of energy, and it is really important that we're taking care of ourselves too. And I think I kind of tried to persevere for a little while. I know I mentioned last month I might be taking some time off, and I never actually did. I'm pretty much a stereotypic Virgo, and I hate taking time off. But I really think it's what's best for me. I know when you kind of had that sort of tense feeling with your work that there's some sort of restriction that's going on, and I've kind of been feeling that. So I'm taking some time to myself. And I'm also really excited to start implementing some changes on this channel as well. Some things I've been wanting to add and start that I just haven't been able to do. So keep your eyes and ears open for those. I hope you're excited about how things are going to be unfolding this year. I know I am. I feel like this is going to be a really interesting year. So I hope you all are really excited to join me on this journey. And second, I am actually going to be skipping the astrological report for this month. I'm just going to be going straight into the reading and kind of integrating the astrology into the reading itself. If you're interested in learning more about the astrology for this month, I do have a blog post in the description box down below. It also lists all of the aspects and transits, which I personally think are very helpful, and I hope you do too. I know people in the last set of videos, there's a lot of people who were complaining about the length of videos, and honestly, they were pretty long for me too. I was pretty exhausted putting all of that energy in. It wasn't meant to be something that was gonna, take up pretty much half a video in some of the cases, but it did. There was a lot that happened last month. I think it was information that needed to be shared, but I know some people are really just coming in for the tarot reading. They're not really interested in astrology. Personally, I find both fascinating. I hope you do too, being on my channel. I think there's always so much parallels, and there's so much that you can learn by kind of cross-examining the two. But I am going to be weaving it more into the actual spread itself, and I'm just going to trust whatever is supposed to come up will come up. But again, if you're curious about more of what's going on astrologically, that blog post is in the description box down below, as well as links for personal readings, Reiki sessions, and donations for those of you who feel so called. Again, those will be back up probably towards the middle of the month. I'll be posting on all of my social media, so be sure to follow me and hit subscribe if you haven't done that already, and that way you won't miss out on any special offerings or giveaways that I am doing in the future as well. So let's see what we have for you, Aquarius. As I'm kind of doing my shuffling thing here, I just want to give the friendly reminder that this is a general reading, meaning not all the messages that come forward are going to be meant for you specifically. It is up to your own intuition and discernment to figure out what applies to your own life and what should be left behind for someone else. Now, because these are also general readings, I always set the intention for them to reach the people who need to hear them the most. So this may not be resonating with you, especially if it's pretty heavy. I don't want you to freak out. Just use your own discernment. You know the energy of your own life. If this isn't resonating, you're more than welcome to check out the other videos for your moon, rising, or Venus sign for this month and see if there is anything there for you. Again, I have a natal chart calculator in the description box down below. If you don't know your other astrological placements, you can use that link to figure out what your moon, rising, or Venus signs are. And what else? And I do feel like just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I think that's always the big takeaway. Interesting. Okay, so the energy we have for you, Aquarius. We have the Five of Swords in reverse, the Hierophant, the Queen of Cups, and the Empress in reverse coming out together. I feel like some of you are dealing with a Taurus, for sure, because we have the Empress energy with the Hierophant. Those are both Taurian energies. We do also have the Queen of Cups, so it could also be a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. I do get the sense that this is actually talking about a person from the past, because I do have this Five of Swords in reverse. Something that you had walked away from is coming back. And I know a lot of people will hear this in a love reading or in a general reading, and it's like automatically assuming that their ex is coming back and trying to reconcile with them, and that's not what I think is necessarily happening here. Could be for some of you, but a lot of the time when we have this old energy that's revisiting us, it's almost it's part of a healing process. It's part of getting closure on something, or, you know, kind of revisiting old patterns for both sides, really. And this isn't actually very surprising. We do have a Mercury retrograde that is going to be hitting, I believe it's February 17th, that is going to be happening in Pisces. And honestly, I'm feeling like there's a lot of emphasis on love and really bolstering our partnerships. And I think part of that is kind of going back, combing through the past, figuring out what exactly happened. I think some of you might be dealing with that. This could also be you returning to a situation that isn't romantic at all. Maybe for some of you, this is something more like going back to a family member or a friend, even a workplace situation. It was something that was very much a part of your daily life, and you tried giving yourself distance, you tried giving yourself space. Maybe that's all you needed, and now you're coming back to it. But I'm getting the sense that there wasn't this closure. There wasn't this conversation that was supposed to happen. There was a lot of things that were left unsaid. And I'm sort of seeing that with the Hierophant as well. I feel like both sides were kind of stuck in their own ways. There wasn't really a meeting of minds, and it was like my way or the highway sort of energy. That's kind of what I'm getting here. And I think there's this realization that both sides were being a little stubborn in their own way. And I'm not saying that this means you have to be in a relationship with this person, that you have to be best friends with this person, but I think if you find yourself, or you find someone from the past coming back into your life that you tried walking away from, or that you tried splitting paths with, I think there is something to learn there. And there is some sort of perspective to gain. I feel like there's actually going to be this emotional conversation that wasn't happening before with this Queen of Cups. I feel like it's almost like you wanted different things, or you had very different expectations for your life. And with this Empress in reverse, it's not necessarily going to feel comfortable for one or both sides. It is stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit. And it actually feels more like for this other person. And again, this is a general reading, so the roles may be coming in reverse. You're welcome to switch it up if it fits that way better for your specific situation. It's just this energy is coming through to reach the most people as possible. But it feels like for the majority, this is the other person. They're having a hard time opening up. They are opening up to you, but it's something, it's almost like, why now? And I think you're a little, I'm feeling like you're a little bit guarded to this, Aquarius. That is the question I'm getting. Why now? And not just, it's Mercury retrograde. Lovers in reverse, Four of Swords in reverse. Okay. Yeah, this person hasn't really been able to move on because of the way that things ended. And honestly, I don't know if you've really been able to do that either, Aquarius. It seems like this is sort of mutual. And if this isn't a romantic relationship, it's like something that was said made this person realize they have this issue with relating to other people. And I think they tried to make it about you and what you wanted, and they were saying that that was wrong, or maybe criticizing you for that. And really you just wanted different things. And I think they're now realizing they have a hard time relating to other people. And if this is a romantic connection, I'm actually sort of getting the sense this person has tried opening themselves up again to love. Maybe they've even gone on a couple dates. Maybe they've tried meeting new people. But something isn't healed. With this Four of Swords in reverse, something wasn't able to heal. Yeah, there's a lot of regret here. And there's a lot of stubbornness that was going on. Interesting. I'm going to pull an animal card here. I'm kind of getting the sense that a lot of these general readings are going to be about love. That's sort of just the energy of February, not just because it's Valentine's Day, but also because we have Mercury retrograde in Pisces. We also have a lot of fire energy with Venus moving into Aries on the 7th, and then we have a Leo full moon on the 9th. There's going to be a lot of passion, and I think people might be going and chasing that from the past. Let's see, what do we have? The Lamb. I think both sides really need to hear each other out. And I'm not making fun of you, Aquarius. I'm not teasing you. I just, these readings, I tell it like it is. And I'm feeling like both sides really need to listen. Because I think you both have this sort of idea of what went down. And you stopped having an actual conversation before you sort of walked away. And it's like nothing the other person could say would get through. Because there was already this story. There was already this idea of how things were supposed to be. Or how things were, rather. Yeah, it's really important to just listen. And it doesn't feel like... I don't think anything is going to happen right away with this, to be totally honest, but I think for the sake of both of your healing, there does need to be this conversation. And you might just be surprised by what this person has to say if you really listen. Maybe there was a lot of conflict, there was just no getting through to this person, especially with that Five of Swords. I feel like there's a real conversation now. So let's see. Where is this leading? Where is this going? And again, we do have Mercury retrograde in the second half of the month. There's honestly not a lot that's going on astrologically throughout February. It sort of feels like a fresher breath air, and you know you've been through the ringer when Mercury retrograde feels like a fresher breath air. But I think sometimes slowing down isn't a bad thing. Oh, yeah. Okay. We have the Seven of Cups. The Nine of Pentacles. And the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, there's a mask that's going to be coming off with the Seven of Cups. That's what I noticed right away. But something still isn't quite what it seems. And I think that's why it's really important for this Lamb energy to kind of be open, receptive, really listen, but also read between the lines still. And not just like to fulfill what it is you're looking for, really try and hear what this other person is saying, because there's some sort of situation that you're not seeing clearly. And this might not even be the same connection, the same situation. For some of you, this is actually something separate. There's a lot of dreaming that's going on. Especially with this Nine of Pentacles. You're kind of in this garden here. You're in a nice spot. You're in a good spot in the second half of February here, but it's like, you know, something has to give. There's this Wheel of Fortune. Something is going to be changing. And it's almost like this pressure to make it happen. To go with it. But this is in your mind, this Wheel of Fortune. This is in your communication. It's not in your daily life yet. For those of you who are like planning a move or some sort of new job, definitely read the fine print. Something might not be what it seems there. I don't think it'd be devastating, but just be careful not to rush into things. And, you know, you can't live your life based off of, like... I mean, we can't just stop our lives because Mercury's in retrograde. I'm not suggesting anyone do that. If you have a decision to make your decision. Don't be afraid of living your life because Mercury's in retrograde. But Mercury retrograde is designed to show us what isn't working, what isn't, you know, functioning or efficient. So there may be some issues that are coming to the surface here, especially in terms of communication. Something isn't what it seems. I want to clarify that, actually. Because you're feeling pretty good. You're looking pretty good, Aquarius, with this Nine of Pentacles. Three of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, this is almost energy around you. It feels like... It actually feels like something with a friendship. This doesn't feel romantic to me. I do see this mask coming down romantically for sure, but when it's coming to this sort of deception or this sort of misunderstanding, I almost get the sense of like jealousy. And it feels as if though... This is really specific, so obviously it's not going to apply to all of you, but it feels like there is this person coming back from the past, kind of making amends, and there was this friend or this person you confided in, and they don't like this person. They don't trust this person, and I think they actually projected. It's almost like that confirmation bias we were talking about earlier, where both sides were interpreting information or seeing things in such a way that kind of confirmed the story they already had in their head. There wasn't a real conversation anymore. That actually happened with the people around you as well. And maybe that's actually, okay, maybe that's what happened in this situation. You were talking to a third party, not like an affair, but you were talking to a friend or a family member about this connection, and I think they put this sort of idea in your head, or they polarized you. Maybe they didn't necessarily put the idea in your head, but they made something seem worse than it actually was, and it feels like it was based off their own experience. And now that this person is back, this other person that you confided in is feeling a little defensive, a little guarded, and I actually want to say jealous. Interesting. And it's not like, I really don't get the sense of you rushing in either with this person coming back from the past, whether this is a romantic connection, another friend or family member. But the other person you talk to about them is feeling some sort of way. And that's really interesting. And I think you're now seeing, oh, you know, maybe the reason I misunderstood this situation was because so-and-so was giving me this advice, or so-and-so was kind of riling me up. That's really interesting. What is this Wheel of Fortune about, actually? Why is Wheel of Fortune here? Because there is a change that is happening. Big change. The World. King of Cups. And the Moon. Wow. You're feeling this intuitively with the Moon. You know there's a big change happening for you, Aquarius. I don't know if you even know what this is yet. But you're sensing it. You're feeling it. And a lot of the time when we have these big shifts, these big changes, we do end up cycling through people, through friendships, through relationships. Maybe you're realizing that the person you had originally trusted is not actually the person you should have trusted. And they made you distrust someone else. You might be losing this person, or you might just be unsure of what to do with that. But honestly, this feels very big. This change you're making, this change you're becoming aware of towards the end of February, I think some of you really could be moving or making a big change in your life. And there's a lot of uncertainty, but you're actually handling it pretty well with this King of Cups. And I actually do feel like there is this really strong love connection for some of you. You're not sure where things are going quite yet. It could be with this old person. It could be with someone new. Maybe this old person again is coming out just to clear some debris energetically that's prevented this new love. But this does feel a little down the road. It doesn't seem like you're just suddenly going to be in a relationship by the end of the month, especially with this Nine of Pentacles. For those of you who are single, of course. But it does feel like there's some prospects. There's something changing, and you know someone's coming, something's coming. You're going into this new direction. And I feel like some of you know that in this move, you're going to be meeting someone. You just have this feeling. You just have this knowing. And I'm kind of feeling that too. But it's not even like you're looking for it that hard with this Nine of Pentacles. You're really just doing your own thing. And in doing that, it brings... that's how you know who the right people are for you. When they're easy to keep around, when you're doing the thing you love. Interesting. Wow, this was like some gymnastics here. So we have the fish and rabbit. Interesting. Again with the listening. That's a big theme for you, Aquarius. Really pay attention to what people are saying. And there's this sense of needing to move, of needing to make this change with fish. And with rabbit, it's like being paralyzed with fear. Some of you are a little anxious about this change because your world is changing in a pretty significant way. That doesn't mean it's a bad change. But there was this thing with your comfort zone earlier on, with this Empress in reverse. You're getting out of your comfort zone. And there's a lot of unknown here with the moon. And I think you're trying to know so quickly. You're trying to figure everything out. I don't think you're going to have the full picture. I don't think you're supposed to. I think you're just kind of meant to go with the current, sit with your emotions, allow things to flow. Because something great is coming here. And sometimes anxiety, even like good anxiety, still stresses us out. And it might be because of the situation that you've been experiencing. You're not sure who to trust anymore, or if you trust your own judgment, your own mind. That's going to be a big, big theme with this Mercury retrograde. Especially being in Pisces, oh my god. It's all the subconscious stuff that's coming to the surface. Wow. I want to pull a color healing card for you. This wasn't a bad reading, but there was a little bit of heaviness here, so I don't want to leave you hanging, Aquarius. These color healing cards are really good for those of you who do energy work. I will actually be reading it straight from the book. It provides a little exercise that you can work with, but you're more than welcome to follow your intuition. The limits are your own imagination for what you want to do with these cards. I've been doing kind of art therapy with them, which is really fun. So just kind of follow your intuition, but a lot of the time they give some good advice as well. So what are the messages? What is the healing color for Aquarius for February? There we go. Red, free yourself from pain. It's almost like you were avoiding a situation out of this fear of getting hurt or hurting someone, and it doesn't go the way you expect. So let's see. Red contains unlimited energy, vitality, and power, and draws money and prosperity into your life. It is a powerful agent for healing blood disorders, improving circulation, healing diseases, drying up sores or wounds, warming cold areas of the body, and reducing pain. Because red releases adrenaline to stimulate mental and physical energy, red can also relieve depression. Use a red sword of light to heal on all levels. Imagine you have a red sword of light. At the tip of the sword, there is a red star, which has incredible healing power. When the star touches anything sick, it dissolves the sickness right out of your body. Visualize touching different parts of your body that need healing with the red sword. Say, Divine Intelligence, move your healing light through my mind and body so I can return to a vibrant state of health. And I was actually trying to say stuckness. So for those of you who are feeling stuck, and you're feeling these maybe even energetic cords, and I'm not saying between people, but to your situation, there's this change that's happening. Maybe you don't know how that's going to happen because you're feeling stuck right now. This red energy, this red sword of light, you can actually sever the things that are holding you back. That's what's coming to mind for this specific card. Interesting. And also grounding, root chakra for sure. This is definitely a card where you need to stay grounded. And if you find yourself being paralyzed with fear, getting frozen here, spend some time outside. I know it's cold out, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere like I am in the winter. But spend some time, even just touch a tree. That will help you stay grounded. I know we can't really be barefoot, most of us watching this video anyway. So just be sure to spend some time outside, really ground yourself. That actually really helps with this sort of rabbit energy. And the root chakra also pertains to fear too. So don't succumb to this fear. Feel it, acknowledge it, and then ground. Plant your feet on the ground. That's kind of the takeaway here. I do hope this reading was helpful for you all. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what is happening for all of you. If you liked the flow of this video better than the previous videos, I'll be curious to hear that. Again, I have all of my links in the description box down below. I'll be reinstating my readings and Reiki sessions probably towards the middle of the month. I'll be posting that on all of my social media, so be sure to follow me if you haven't done that, just so you can stay in the loop. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye, Aquarius.